Do you think that harmonization of chemical management and the wastewater discharge criteria, is that a realistic goal? Is that something we could achieve?
It's absolutely a realistic goal, and I would say it's not even can we try to achieve that, we should achieve that, because as an industry we have the obligation to drive the zero discharge of hazardous chemicals in a really short time period towards zero.
Why do you think it's realistic?
I think it's realistic if we collectively in the chain set our minds to it. There's always trivial kind of obstacles. However, if the industry and the leaders in this industry unite about the greater goal for the industry, it's very, very realistic to deliver this.
Is there anything that you think should happen that would incentivize this collective action?
Yeah, I would say we would really need to break through probably the columns and really start working across the chain, meaning that the tier 1 brands, the tier 2 mills and the tier 3 chemical manufacturers really work more in a triangle in unison together to drive the cost out of the chain as well as to drive the sustainability further into the chain.
What's preventing that from happening today?
I would say that's often, let's say, conflicting company interests, and not necessarily within every node in the chain the same kind of vision, determination and passion to drive it for the industry as a greater good in that direction.
So what is your company doing to influence this?
Yeah, I think we took a very conscious decision 4 years ago to really start with our innovation programs to address the 3 critical challenges of our industry with respect to chemicals. First of all, the use of natural resources. Secondly, the waste or sustainable manufacturing and waste in the largest sense of the word. And then thirdly, of course, the exclusion or the minimization of toxic or potentially toxic substances in products. Basically, we say that every project that we do, every innovation project, every R&D dollar we spend should address one or more of those goals, quantitative deliverables, whilst not imparting a cost increase on the final garment. We have a resource usage system that we developed over the last 5 years that we actually have given to the industry via Blue Sign to use so that we really elevate the industry to become more sustainable. If you look to most of our factories, we start to go in our own factories to zero discharge, meaning our Pakistan factory is a very good example. We don't emit any water, we actually reuse, recycle everything we use in that factory. And probably we were the first chemical company, first chemical manufacturing facility in the world being able to do that. For us it's very important that also not only we actually contribute downstream in reducing for our customers and their customers the use of natural resource, but also in our own manufacturing facilities we actually completely reduce the waste, and we go so far that, let's say, we build our facilities now in zero liquid discharge, so it's completely preventing liquid discharge by reusing the processed water over and over and recycling it. We've done that in Pakistan. We are actually implementing that on other facilities, and in that way also making your own manufacturing the best in the world. That facility in Pakistan, which we installed 3 years ago, was probably the first facility in the whole industry, in the whole chemical industry, delivering by that standard.
Do you have any opinions on traceability when it comes to sourcing textile chemicals in terms of how to improve that?
Yeah, I think it is inevitable that we start tracing from cradle to grave. Consumers and of course the digital revolution will help to actually facilitate, but consumers want to know where their products come from, and as a textile industry you can learn a lot from other industries where you actually can go from the source to the end product. We have a product range called Earth Colors where actually we do the complete traceability from where it comes from and use that as an RFC chip on the garment, so that anyone buying that garment knows full traceability of that color, which is actually made of raw material, of waste, of agricultural waste, and therefore called earth colors.
What's your view on these new enzyme and bacteria-based processes to replace synthetic chemicals to do the same kind of job?
I come from that industry.
Yeah?
So I'm a big fan. Actually, a lot of what we do today is trying to convert classical chemical processes into biochemical or even biotechnological processes. So clearly, let's say there where applicable, I would be a big fan of that.
And you see that as the future of chemical?
Partly, it cannot address all questions, but partly.
So if you were to pick one thing now that you think would accelerate the harmonization of chemical management?
Driving the joint chemical registry between brands, mills, and the chemical manufacturers.
Where does that stand now, that registry? Where does that?
I think it's quite close to where it needs to be. It needs to be a little bit sharper on the commitments.
Okay.
And I think when we have that and everyone commits, so not only verbally but it starts to really deliver against that, I think we can very quickly make steps to move the industry, the branded part of the industry, in a more sustainable direction.